Hello everyone. Today we shall look into few practical Python problems. Okay, so first problem here we have to implement a program to check whether a given number is even number or odd number. So we know how to take an input, right? So let us suppose we'll take an input called num is equal to. So I'll try to convert the input into integer data type. So I'll write input of. So here you can write any some content like enter a number or anything, right? And you can just close the parenthesis and you can close another parenthesis, right? This is our input where we take the number and save it in our variable called num. So here we'll write an if condition if our num is less than 0. Okay, so we'll consider that condition as invalid. Okay, so if our number modulus 2, if it is equal to 0, then it should be even. So to give multiple conditions, so we can take the help of elif, right? Elif num percentage 2, if it is equal to 0, then we can print the number is even, right? We can give the else condition, else what is the output? The number is odd. So I hope it is easy to understand that whether how to find a number with whether it is odd or even, right? So we can verify. Suppose the number is 5. Okay, you can see the number is odd. Suppose if I enter some number less than 0, which is -2, it can give me that invalid condition. If the number is 6, it is even, right? We are able to get the correct output. So here we can see one more query, or you could say one more question related to the if else conditions. For example, if an integer is n, right, we need to perform these multiple conditions using if else conditions, right? If else conditions, you can use this particular statements and write. So let us take the similar output. Suppose num is equal to, we'll convert into integer and take the input of a number, right? I'll take the input of a number. I'll write enter a number. Right. So here we could take the input of a number and we can give the multiple conditions. I'll write if my number is modulus 2, it is not equal to 0. Okay. So what I need to print? I need to print something called weird. Okay. So that is the condition which is requested, right? Required. So what I need to print, it is something called weird, right? So if my number is greater than or equal to 2 and less than or equal to 5, I should print not weird. So for that what we can do is we can use else condition, right? Else what I can do is, here I could have multiple conditions. You see here, if my number is odd, I have to print weird. So I have done that. Where it is not equal to 0, I have printed odd, or you could say weird, right? Where my number is even, I have multiple conditions. So in else conditions, I would require to write 3 other conditions, right? So for that, to enable it, what we can do is else I can write again if condition. If my number is greater than or equal to 2 and my number is less than or equal to 5. So what I can do is I can write print not weird. Here one more condition which we have, elif, where my number is greater than or equal to 6 and my number is less than or equal to 20, I would write a condition where I could print weird, right, as provided in the conditions. What is my third condition? I have else, right? So here I can put else. I have to print not weird. So in this way based upon the necessary conditions, you could understand and use this if else condition or else multiple nested if else conditions, right? I hope it is understandable. Now if you run this, suppose if you print odd number, if it is 3, any odd number you print, it will show me weird. Suppose if I enter 6, okay, so greater than or equal to 6, it is weird, right? Suppose if it is greater than 20, if I enter 26, you could see it is not weird, right? So whatever the conditions it is being satisfied, we'll get the respective result. Okay, so we'll see one more problem based upon this if else conditions, right? We have a question where we have to implement a program to check whether the given year is leap year or not. For example, how do we confirm whether a year is leap year or not? We'll divide it with 4 and we'll check whether it is 0 or not. Few more condition is we'll try to check, divide it with 100 and also 400 and also check, right? So that thing, multiple conditions, we can write in a single query, right? How can we write? Let us take that number, where again I'll request for a number, right? In the input function, enter a number, right? We'll take the input of this number and then we can write our if conditions. Suppose if my number modulus 4, alright, if it is equal to 0, and they have two other conditions which has to be satisfied, where my number modulus 100, it should not be equal to 0, or where my number modulus 400, it should be equal to 0, right? So if these two conditions are satisfied, along with that number modulus 4 condition is satisfied, what I can do is I can print true, right? Otherwise I can write an else condition where I can print false, right? So in this way I can take any number. Suppose 2024, so if it is true, right, so it is a leap year. Suppose 2021, it is false, right? Suppose 2020, right, it is true. So in this way you can write your program which can enable the logic using if else conditions and solve such kind of questions. So this is all for today. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.